For this project, we're going to create a color wheel. And we've already drawn the design that'll allow us to do that. This will be the foundation for our color wheel. So let's go ahead and take a moment, and just to stay organized, let's label where our colors are going to go. The first thing to do is let's label where the primaries are going to go. And we always put yellow at the top. So yellow. And red and blue are going to go in the corners. And it doesn't matter which side. They're interchangeable. So let's go ahead. My sample has blue in the right. So let's skip a triangle and then put blue. Skip a triangle and put red. So we've got our color wheel started, and we're going to have our primaries yellow, blue, and red. Now, let's think about what happens when you add these colors together. If I take some yellow and add some red, I'm going to get orange. So let's write orange in the space between yellow and red. Still working with yellow, if I add blue, what color would I get? I'd get green. And then down at the bottom, if I take red and blue together and mix them, I get violet or purple. And so here is our color wheel. We have our three primaries, yellow, blue, and red, and our three secondaries, orange, green, and violet. To create this color wheel, let's just see if the logic works. Let's use our three primary colors, yellow, blue, and red. So those are the only colors I'm going to use. And what I want you to do is I want you to draw and color neatly in the shapes. So yellow obviously goes where yellow is. Blue goes in for blue. And work nice and neat. We judge art by how it looks. And then I would continue on with red. Rather than doing that, what I want to demo for you right now is yellow and blue make green. And most of us are familiar with mixing paints to get that. You can do the same thing with pencils. If I color a shape lightly with yellow, so I'm kind of doing a light coat. I want there still to be some texture to the paper. I'm now going to feather in blue. And I'm going to begin to get the illusion of green. But I do say begin. It takes a little more work. So blue and yellow start to create the illusion of green. But with pencils, you have to think in layers. I've got my green color started. Now I'm going to do another layer of yellow. Maybe another layer of blue. I'm going to choke way back on my pencil and sort of lightly place. And eventually what happens is a pretty amazing optical illusion occurs. The blue and the yellow pencil will create the illusion of green. And we actually call this optical mixing. If you zoom in, my colors are still separated. However, in the eye, optically, our brain starts mixing it together. It's incredibly fun. And by mixing your color pencils, you can actually start to make really beautiful colors. They seem to sort of sparkle. Also, it allows you to have an infinite number of colors. When you first get your Crayola set and it has its, 6 or 12 colors, I think it's 12, it's so limited. But now you know that you can actually mix your own orange. So if I wanted to mix orange, I'd put in a light layer of red. I need it to be light because I need that kind of rough texture, both of the paper and of my pencil stroke, so I can sort of layer these colors. If I color too hard, it gets solid and glossy. So there's red. And then to create orange, I need to add yellow. So I'm going to start layering in my colors. Pretty cool. And then I have to be an artist. I have to sort of start looking at it, critiquing my work. I'll do another layer of red. Sometimes we want things just to be efficient. One yellow, one red, done. And that's not the way the world of art works. It's like cooking. You don't just read the recipe, add 1 teaspoon of salt and feel you're done. You have to actually taste your food and really adjust it. Be like, oh, I don't know. I think it needs more salt, or I think it's too salty. I'm going to add a little more tomato sauce to sort of cancel out how salty it is. That's the art of cooking. And of course, this is the art of mixing colors. Ooh, that's looking pretty orange. And then, of course, I would color my red. And last but not least, you would mix red and blue together. So I want you to mix a color wheel using just your 3 primary colors, your 3 colored pencils. And then when you're done, you have these spaces left. And I'd like you to take a black pen and just fill it with some sort of pattern, drawing, or design, much like I did here. So we just worked on a pattern unit. So you should have lots of ideas of maybe how you could create some really beautiful black and white patterns inside these petals. All right, guys. So what I'd like you to do is to create a color wheel using only the 3 primary color pencils, and use your color pencils to mix the secondary colors. So you're going to do optical mixing. And when you're done, you'll actually have a beautiful design. And everybody's will be slightly different. Everybody's yellow, everybody's green. That's how I can tell if you've used the secondary pencils, because they all look the same. And I want to be able to see sort of that sparkle, that optical mixing in your secondary colors. So draw this simple mandala. Use the 3 primary pencils to create yellow, red, and blue. And then in between them, create your secondary colors. Thanks, guys.